Hello, everyone. I'm back. I'm alive. I was dying for a little bit because I was a little sick. Turns out it was just a nasal drip flu, or cold or whatever. And then we had hell froze over here in my where I live, and that was fun. That was like a week of bullshit. Beautiful snow. I posted pictures on my Instagram. I have to post pictures in Discord at some point. But yeah, but I'm alive. How are you guys? How's everything going? And I am back. My first stream video thing back, and I'm here with a Bohab.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And you know, like normal, we are going to talk about Attack on Titan. Today is going to be a little bit shorter, hopefully. Normally these things last around 3 to 4 hours. We're aiming for 2 hours because I'm still recovering, and Bohab has work tomorrow, and also
Yeah, just tired, sleepy.
so yeah. Yeah, I watch comic reviewers now, like Comic Drake, Variant, and like those are the
Yeah,
people
I watch a
want
lot of comics explained. That's how I keep up with what Marvel's doing these days.
yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, this is a hot take. This is a hot take. I'm not gonna lie. I'm very. I have little interest in the comics that are coming out these days. Well, because it's most okay. I shouldn't say that. I should say I have very little interest in the DC and Marvel comics that are coming out these days. I'm like, I hear
Yeah,
that.
I don't know. They got the King in Black thing going on. Future State seems kind of interesting, but I don't think I'm actually going to read any of it.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I'm looking at it and I'm just kind of like, this is like I hear
Echo,
them
you
talk
don't
about
like
it and they're like,
anything,
this is
so
so amazing, and I'm all like, is it really? Uh, I don't know. I've been I've like tried to keep up with. I haven't even watched anime really. Attack on Titan, Ghost Stories, and just because I found that out recently, and I watched Shoujo Bitch for the first time, and
I,
like
what?
Shoujo Bitch. It's
What
funny.
the?
It's funny. It's funny. It's trash, but it's funny.
You'd hope with a title like that it's tongue in cheek.
Oh, it's very tongue in cheek. It's not
Okay,
like
yeah.
it's no Aso Ase base. It's
If something with
but
the
it's
name
pretty
Shoujo
funny.
Bitch expected to be taken seriously,
But it's funny, and so like, but like that's about it. And but I've been trying to watch Banana Fish, and I stopped. I haven't. I watched. I guess I mostly
I've
watched
never even
YouTube content.
heard of any of these. Banana Fish?
It's on Amazon Prime. This is. I don't think you would. I don't know.
I never check my Amazon Prime app except for when like The Boys comes out. I'll watch it for like those few weeks.
Like
Then I forget I have it for like the other 90% of the year.
Like there's shows I want to recommend to you, but I feel like every time I try to recommend a show, you're like, but that's effort. And so that's why I'm all like, I'm not gonna
It
recommend
is.
all these shows. Like it's funny and they are good shows.
Even
And I
if
would be
I
like,
have a subscription to the app it's on, I have to just like the act of switching over from Hulu or Netflix to Amazon Prime or Peacock or whatever bullshit. It's too much.
that's why I'm all like,
If it isn't already pointed at my eyeballs, I'm not interested.
this is why I've stopped recommending you anime. Like there's like anime I want you to watch,
Oh no, but Shoujo Bitch seems so good.
and you know
don't
what?
think I want to watch Dumb Bitch High School?
Go watch Shoujo Bitch. It's
No.
okay, fine. Don't go watch it. I don't care. I'm just like,
I'm glad I have your permission to not watch Shoujo Bitch.
no. I'm starting to realize like
Pitch me Shoujo Bitch. What is Shoujo Bitch?
it's a generic. Like I don't want to say it's generic, but it kind of is. It's like
It's not one of those name brand animes.
well, You know, it's funny. It kind of is. It's kind of like one of those like animes that people like. You want to watch a comedy anime? Watch Shoujo Bitch.
Yeah, well, they're the
It's something
female
that's been
lead character
recommended.
is just literally named female character. The main character is named Spiky Hair Boy, and they have adventures.
He doesn't have spike hair, actually.
Oh no! Then why would I be interested?
No, it's one of those things. Like when people recommend stuff to me, I will watch it. Like I
He
will
suddenly
watch
find himself
Invincible.
in a
I will.
magical world he doesn't understand.
Unlike Bohab, I will actually watch it. I will take the recommendation because I'll be like, you recommended this to me. I want to check it out. But I'm realizing as I'm getting older and as I get excited and I want to recommend stuff to people. I'm like, I gotta be very selective with what I recommend, and like I also realize if I'm gonna recommend something, odds are I'm gonna have to sit them down and force them to watch it. Like I've realized with Bohab, I can't just be like, watch this show, because he's not gonna watch it. He will.
I'll tell you I'm gonna watch it, but then obviously I'm not gonna do it. And if you keep believing me, that's on you.
So essence, don't ever believe anything Bohab says. He's a complete liar.
I'm clearly an inveterate liar.
So I've realized I'm not gonna recommend anything for you to watch. I'm just gonna wait till I'm in your presence, like we are visiting, and I'm gonna be like, Bohab, sit down. We're watching this now. Like you have no choice.
I'm very set in my ways. Like you should trick me, be like, hey, watch the TV, Futurama's on, and then once I get in the room, you knock me unconscious, and then you like pry my eyes open like a Clockwork Orange style, and then force me to watch Shoujo Bitch.
No, I'm just gonna tell you Godzilla's on, have you sit down, and then I'm gonna play it, and then you're gonna realize it's not Godzilla, and I'm gonna be like, yeah, no, but you're still you sit here.
I mean, say it's like Godzilla versus Megalon. You know, it's got Jet Jaguar in it.
Funny enough, there is a Godzilla reference, I believe, in that show, but
that's the kind of endpoint you got to give for me. Now,
there's a Godzilla reference, you'll watch it if there's a Godzilla reference.
Sure, I mean, I need something to latch onto.
Oh, hold on. Let's look at the chat real quick. Echo,
you can't just tell me it's another dipshit anime about people learning the power of friendship.
Oh no, this is also Asebe's. By the way, and this is something that you, I believe, actually watched. Is about anything but the power of friendship. All right, hold on. Let me read the comments real quick.
Do they access some kind of bitch power that I'm not aware of?
No, I told you it's slice of
called
life.
Shoujo Bitch.
It's Shoujo Bitch is just there's no superpowers. There's nothing crazy. It's just like people doing stuff. I can't explain.
Well,
it's like watching a comedy show. It's
show.
like watching a sitcom. It's like watching a sitcom.
Okay.
Like if you like it's like watching Frasier. It's people doing stuff, putting themselves in funny situations. There's a little bit of like, you know, if you understand Japanese culture, it's cool. If you don't, you can still get some of the jokes because some of them are just like so outlandishly out there. You're just like, what the fuck? But like,
if there was an anime version of Frasier, I would watch that.
I guarantee you there is. I guarantee you there is an anime version of Frasier.
I mean, I'm on board.
Yeah, Banana Fish is good. Its art style is pretty cool. Its story is crazy. It's very American, and it's
which way?
It's basically this Japanese. So.
I mean, is it like about a school shooting, or how American are we talking?
I mean, it's about it's about gangsters. It's actually a mystery. It's a real good mystery. It gets real fucked up from the get-go. But it's about this, like, basically this gangster, this Japanese kid comes from, a 17-year-old Japanese kid wants to get into journalism. So he goes along with his senpai, and they go to America to do an article on gangsters, like local gangsters in America. So they team up with the police, and they go in and they meet like the gangsters of LA or New York or something like that.
Okay, so it's like Almost Famous meets Training Day.
I've never seen either of those.
Ooh. You've seen Shoujo Bitch.
Don't fucking judge me, right? Don't judge me right now.
Your description that it's a show about people doing things
in a funny way, in a ridiculous, over the top.
Oh, okay.
It's very anime. It's Shoujo Bitch is like anime, but like taken to its like and like it's aware that it's anime, so it does the most anime thing, and so you're like, that's the most anime thing I could think of. Like it takes it. I don't want to say it subverts it, but like it's like, why, and you just laugh at the why of it all.
All right, it will remain a mystery.
How I didn't watch Training J, or what was the other one you said?
Most famous, Cameron Crowe.
Who's Cameron Crowe?
Just nobody. He's a famous crow. Black feathers.
I hate my laugh. Fuck. Oh.
So how did you connect to BoJack Horseman at all when you have like no knowledge of American pop culture whatsoever? There was a deliberate Cameron Crowe reference in BoJack Horseman. Literally, Cameron Crowe was in it. He's a famous filmmaker who got his start as a rock journalist, and it is a semi-autobiographical film about him as like a 16 or 17-year-old kid following this band on the road. It's a very famous movie.
Okay, I will. I'll look into it just for you.
It's kind of skippable. You don't need to watch it. I think you should just be like aware of it.
Okay, well now I'm aware of it.
Like The Godfather. You don't actually have to watch The Godfather, but you need to have heard of it just to sort of have that touchstone to connect to pop culture.
You know what's funny is my dad was a huge fan of The Godfather. He had the whole collection there. He was like a huge fan. So like I actually grew up watching all of The Godfather multiple times.
Honestly, I don't think you need to watch The Godfather. If you've seen enough of the early seasons of The Simpsons, you get enough of it to know what The Godfather is without actually watching.
Oh, I figured as much, but like I'm just letting you know, like that's one of the few things I can actually be like, yes, I've watched The Godfather. I've like watched all the parts of The Godfather. I don't remember any of it. I was a kid at the time, but I remember my dad was all like very like he watched it a lot, and he was all like, this is you have to watch this. It was that Star Wars.
Honestly,
and it was like the
you're
it was like the
aware
first
of
three
a
Star
few
Wars.
of the like famous scenes, like make him offer, you can't refuse, the guy getting gunned down at the toll booth, it can only leave the gun.
Yeah,
that's all you need.
You just
rest is filler.
You just need the memes.
Basically, yeah.
But yeah, I guess I've like I said, I've never seen the movies you saw, but it's basically like, yeah, they do. He's a journalist, but he gets caught up in this gang war, and so it's that, but it's also very yaoi. So there's like
definitely didn't expect that twist there.
Like there's a lot of like gay sex and there's also gay rape.
It's very late in the description of this show to be like, okay, also, by the way, it's a gay porn. I didn't mention that.
It doesn't
in
like
the first 30 minutes of describing it.
It doesn't like show the things, but like you see enough to be like, this is really dark. But it's really good. It's like you're like you got this mystery going on. You got these very well developed characters, and it's really good. I'm on episode 7, and it's like they're about to get into like they're about to infiltrate like the big bad, like the gang, the mafia leader. They like just had their first all out war battle, and I'm like, fuck. You got this like whole like military, like they were in the Iraq war side of things going on, and these people coming back, and it's really good. It's just one of those things where like I can explain it, but it's one of those shows you can explain and you're like, what the fuck? And then you're like, yeah, just watch it. Just just watch it, because I can't really explain it without going into spoilers and detail.
Okay, so I'm looking at Cameron Crowe's Wikipedia page. Apparently, he once went undercover as a student at Claremont High School in San Diego, California.
Oh, for Ridgemont High.
Times Ridgemont High.
Yeah, I know that. I went to that high school.
You knew that, but not who Cameron Crowe was.
I mean, you said Cameron Crowe. That's a name. I don't know names. I think I've established pretty well from our past podcasts about Attack on Titan. I am terrible with names. Like
writer, director, Fast Times, Ridgemont High, Jerry Maguire, Almost Famous, Vanilla Sky.
I know Jeremy Maguire, Almost Famous. Sounds familiar, but like
he literally wrote a movie about your high school.
I know, and you know what's funny is like when I went to the middle school across from the high school, and he was the movie he wrote about because like it was like I'm gonna get into a little bit of Justice childhood. I grew up down the street from the singer of Rat and the guitarist of Poison went to the grocery store I used to frequent. Actually, went to the grocery store we frequent at because we both
DC DeVille. On
Claremont Drive. You know the Keels?
Oh, I mean the guitarist for Poison is CC DeVille. Right?
I don't fucking know. I just know that they went to the grocery store a whole lot because the grocery stores would be like, oh yeah, they hang out here.
Guitarist of Poison. All right.
Yeah. And then POD lived down the street from where I lived. I also knew the people from Pierce the Veil or something like that because they went to the
assuming
high
they're
school
a metal band.
They went to the high school and they were my neighbors and I'm friends with with their family. And then I don't like know them to this day. Like they probably don't know who I am anymore. But like I was a kid. So like they probably are like, oh cool, like whatever. But like yeah. So like and then the Kendra or whatever the famous porn star. That was on like House of Bunnies back in like 2004. It was on VH1. This is getting really into how old I am. But like it was like her name was Kendra or something like that. It was a blonde chick or whatever. She went to Claremont High School in 2000. In like the same time I was at the middle school across the street. And whatnot, and like apparently she like leaked a footage of her. My history teacher told me all about it because my history teacher was like, "Oh yeah, I was here when Cameron Crowe, like I was his like history teacher, and like I was also the history teacher of Kendra and all these people, and they used to hang out here." And he has pictures of like Ridgemont High and signed pictures of like Kendra and all that stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, like, all right, yeah. By the way, the high school I went to, yeah, like I do. There's a lot of stuff I could say, but like for the most part, I'm aware of like the director of Ridgemont High and how they like infiltrated and did all this stuff like that, and I'm also aware that they are both like kind of banned from the high school. Not because they did anything like wrong. I don't know if they did anything wrong. I don't know if they're terrible people or not. But because the image of the high school has to remain intact, despite the fact that I knew, like I went in there as a freshman, and one of my friends was dating like a 37-year-old, and she was 14, and I'm like,
that is not okay.
That is not okay.
Really?
But that is a thing that existed, and it was a weird relationship because he was all like he was very like you're not allowed like he like I remember her telling me she's all like when we were hanging out, she's all when we would leave school, she's all like, okay, you gotta go because he doesn't like it when other boys talk to me. And I'm all like, that doesn't sound okay. I even told her, I'm all like, that's not okay. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, that's clearly not okay. I hope whatever that situation was resolved itself.
It's resolved. She's married to a much better person now, and they have a kid together, and they're like super
I was half expecting you to say, no, she ended up getting murdered by this other guy. It was unrelated.
Oh God, I would be so sad.
What the?
No, she's doing well.
It's the kind of story that seemed like it was heading for a very sad ending.
No, I believe she wised up and she got like.
Okay, well, good.
Yeah, she's got like she's super awesome. But yeah, no, it's so I was aware of all this. So I didn't know his name was Cameron Crowe. But like I like I'm aware of him, I guess I should say, because I've seen him in High. I grew up on that show.
Okay. So you are aware of him, you just didn't know his name.
Yeah.
Right.
So there you go. That explains why I like BoJack.
So, like, his last name is Crow, so like they made him a bird in the BoJack scene, but he was actually a raven, but he's named Crow. It was very funny.
Yeah, I remember that joke.
Yeah, see, now you got it.
I didn't. But that I don't need to know who Cameron Crowe is to realize that the joke is like, oh, that's a raven, but he's a crow, and it's Cameron. It's funny in it of itself.
I also did that with Scott Wolf and Matthew Fox.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
I got those ones as well. It's like, you haven't watched Training Day? How can you get that Cameron Crowe, who's actually a raven, is such a funny joke? I'm like, what?
I'm explaining it to you, and I'm doing an excellent job.
Thank you so much for mansplaining this.
Welcome. What I'm good at, mansplaining.
Like, it's been 2 weeks, and I really just watched these 2 episodes of Attack on Titan. We will get to Attack on Titan, by the way. I just want to say, like, I watched the 2 episodes, and I forgot what I watched. I'm literally, like, scrambling to remember, and I was, like, rewatching it before we started, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to remember a lot of the stuff. But, like, my mind's fuzzy. I was feeling like garbage for 2 weeks, and then the whole entire snowstorm thing, beautiful, but, like, complete garbage how it was all handled. And have I seen The Sopranos? Have you seen The Sopranos?
Yeah, I mean, like 15 to 20 years ago, I want to say.
Oh, I don't fucking know. I've seen clips of The Sopranos. I've never seen The Sopranos.
I mean, it was a solid show, but I don't necessarily know that it's worth going back to rewatch. I think it's kind of like The Wire. It's like, if you haven't watched it by now, you probably aren't going to.
Yeah, like, I don't know. I've seen Goodfellas.
If you were there and into it in that moment where it was popular, it was a very big sort of cultural phenomenon, but it's kind of hard to recreate that after the fact.
It's kind of
Game
like
of Thrones had a similar thing.
Yeah,
where, like, if you're into it and watching it as it was happening, then sure, you can be part of that cultural zeitgeist. But if you miss it, you miss it, and that's fine. You'll be around for the next one of those, whatever that ends up being.
Yeah. I mean, I watched the first season of Better Call Saul, and I watched Breaking Bad. And I watched those shows. I'm not going to go back and watch them. So I feel like Sopranos is kind of that vibe.
I'm like a season behind on Better Call Saul. I think I've watched through the end of season 4, and they're working on 6 right now.
Oh, wow. They have 6 seasons.
No.
I haven't heard anything about Better Call Saul. I remember season 3 was like huge, and then after that, I thought season 3 was like the end.
No, well, there's one that I haven't watched, and then they're making one more that's going to be the final season that wraps everything up. I think I'm going to wait till that's closer to coming out to get back into it.
Okay, but going back in the comments, because I just want to get through the comments before we get started on everything.
For sure.
You think you can kill me with bullets? Is Sopranos? What?
Yeah.
Oh, is that really? That's not a joke? Is that an actual line or something?
Yeah, I think it's a line from the show. I don't remember. It's like a lot of those early 2000s.
That sounds
TV
like
dramas.
That sounds like such.
Sopranos, The Wire, 24 was another big one. I
remember 24.
All kind of blur together.
I'm sorry. That sounds like such an anime line. Like such a. You think you can kill me with bullets?
Yeah.
You think 12 shots will do anything to me? Like, what the fuck? Have you not seen my ultimate level yet? We haven't even reached it. You haven't even brought up the AK-47.
Final form.
Watch me pull out my Colt 45.
Tony Soprano has mastered the 5 magics.
The 5 bullet mastering technique where he can bend bullets? What? I want a Sopranos anime now.
I'm sure there already is one.
Probably.
Might also be a gay porn too, but apparently that's just par for the course.
I'm telling you, it's good.
All right, yeah, I am. I was honestly waiting to see if you were still there. You cut out there for a second.
Oh, did I?
Well, no, you suddenly got quiet.
Oh,
An
I was
extended
yelling.
pause. I wasn't sure if you were expecting me to talk, so I was just kind of waiting to see what happens.
See, technology fucking sucks.
Yeah, the lag on Zoom and chat and whatever, it's kind of, it disrupts the natural flow of conversation.
Yeah, I was so like
In a way, that's very dissatisfying.
yeah, so like I'll say this, like I was editing, and like as I'm editing, I'm noticing there's these times where we like talk over each other, and then there's times where like we're both talking, and then there's times where like you just cut out, like you're speaking and you can tell that you're like saying a full thought, but because it like there's like a freaking minute of like where you're like, well, hello, and it's like a minute pause or like a 10-second pause, and then all of a sudden, and yeah, and then you cut out again, and then you come back in. Then I've just had to edit out where I'm like, you had a point there, but
Yeah, Discord audio isn't great. Not
No.
100%, certainly.
and I've been wondering like, well, should we do this on Hangouts? Should we do this on like where should we do this? And Discord
Maybe try Hangouts next time. The audio quality on Hangouts seems to be a lot better.
Yeah, so we might do that. It's just one of those things where it's like I'm like, fuck, like, you know, like we want to like I don't want to like especially when we're like long distance and stuff like that, and one of the things I don't want to do or and I don't like is talking over, but like sometimes it's like, you know, I don't hear you because you like cut out, but you're talking, and so you're trying to make a point, but then I'm talking, and then you come back in and you can't hear me apparently, so like we overlap talking to each other, and it's like, fuck.
Yeah. Oh, well, we'll deal with it.
So yeah, let's talk Attack on Titan. I don't, like I said, my brain has kind of like put these 2 episodes kind of together more or less. I wrote down a few notes. So real quick, I've stopped reading the manga. Like, in its entirety. I'm like, fuck this shit. Because I didn't want to spoil anything, and I realized the anime is now going out of order. So remember with episode 9, I forgot how it ended. But I think it was the Sasha episode, right? Where like,
Yeah, that's where Sasha died.
yeah. So they have the funeral, and they're like, it was this and all that other stuff, right? So I was like, okay, cool. So I'm gonna like read the next chapter, right? So I read the next chapter, and I stopped midway through the chapter because they just started showing. So everything that we're seeing right now in episode 10 and 11, everything we're seeing now is like happened in the literal next chapter that I was reading, and I was like, "Fuck!" Because I was like reading it, and I'm like, they didn't even get to the funeral part or anything like that, or the fact that like all of the where Sasha had the flashback of eating his food, none of that was shown, and I was all like, "Fuck!" Okay, I can't read anymore, and
Okay,
so we
saw the flashback interval stuff in between the time jump. That all didn't happen quite in order in the comic.
No, not at all. This also happened. So remember when I was talking about the Levi arc and how like they like did this all through flashbacks while going through the series, but in the anime they did the Levi arc as like one whole thing on its own little, like they're like, oh, this is Levi's story. Okay, now back to what we're watching. Yeah, so I feel like that's what's happening right now, to the point where I'm like, I watch this and I'm like, okay, the chapter that I read and the manga are like back to like where they're at now. for the rest of the anime, I can't read the manga because it's gonna spoil shit. And I'm like, I don't want
Also,
that.
it's become evidently clear that the anime is not going to wrap up the story by this set of episodes. There's got to be like a second half of season 4 or something coming later in the year, because it's just impossible.
Yeah. Oh, by God, it is
Completely. It was already impossible, but now it's just completely very clear.
And
They are not going to wrap this up. The
So
time
I was
to get
reading.
to this, I've heard there's like a sort of a natural lull in the story around 116 of the manga that people think it's going to end at. I don't know what that is or what happens, but
I haven't gotten there.
yeah.
So
But I'll probably catch up with the manga in the interval after the anime goes back on hiatus and at the end of March.
So here's the thing. I was doing Wiki because remember I was all like, they've only released 12 episodes. Well, they've released all 16 episodes, the titles and the dates they're going to be released.
Yeah, all the titles and the release dates.
And so like I was all like, fuck. I wanted to see what happened in season 3. I was like, was season 3 planned to be a 2-parter or was it not? And so I did a little research. It was not planned because if you look at the intro of season 3, it says Attack on Titan season 3. Well, they wanted to do 20 episodes. But they realized they needed more. It was like 24 or 21 or 22 episodes or whatever. But they halfway through the production, they realized that they couldn't do the whole arc in just one season 3, so they split it midway through. They think like they're like, okay, these 2 episodes are gonna be like the the first part, and then we're going to finish everything else in part 2. So it was announced midway through season 3 that they were going to have a part 2. So I think season 4 is going to be the same thing, where like, I guarantee you like there's going to be an announcement on like episode 12, like on the next episode or episode 13 or whatever. They're like, we're going to do a part 2. Cause I was like looking at it. I'm like, okay, so like part 2 wasn't added until whatever. And the thing is I was looking up, I was watching Trash Taste. I recently got into Trash Taste, and I was like, fuck. They were talking with, I think, Ken Arito, or something. I could be so butchering that name. But basically, he's an animator for, like, My Hero Academia, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. Like, he's, like, top tier animator, like, in Japan. And he was saying, and also apparently the Anime Man was in an anime called Pop Team Epic, and I didn't know he was in an anime, and like, yeah. But apparently, so you know how in the West, here in America, they're like, okay, we have all the episodes done, they're going to release them in this order, right? Like, everything's post-production and whatnot. No, that's not how they do it in Japan. They do it sometimes the week of, if not like, so like, they released episode 11, right? So I guarantee you they're working on episode 14 or 15 right now. Like, they just, like, they probably started
but
it.
I guess that makes sense.
So, like, but I'm talking
Working
about...
on it right up to the last second.
Pretty much. Like, so he was talking about, like, he did an episode. I forgot for which anime. But he was all like, yeah, so episode 6 was released, and we were working, and episode 6 had just came out. Or no, episode 1 had just came out, and he was working on episode 6. So like, they like work like, so like, I guarantee you, like, I think
America's kind of like that sometimes, where they're, they mostly got it in the can, but they're tying up post-production and tightening up editing in those. But a lot of times, yeah, like I said, I have like the whole season done just sitting on a shelf weeks before they release it.
Oh yeah, I mean, like, South Park is one of those rare shows that like they do it like right before. They like
yeah, exactly. They animate the whole thing the week of. And
yeah,
like, right. And
yeah, and so like that's kind of how like all Japanese anime is though. It's a really good
risky move.
Yeah, it's a really good podcast. It's 2 hours long, but like it's a really good, if you want to know what it's like to be an animator for Japanese anime, like all Japanese anime, it's a good insight to what it's like. Spoiler alert, it fucking sucks to be an animator in Japan, especially when you talk about
I've heard
like
they have a lot of problems with like need to unionize to.
Oh yeah,
they get kind of abused a little bit.
And it's,
I mean, that's a lot of the work culture in Japan in general, but I've heard animators have it a little worse.
Oh yeah, like apparently they make like $2 for like a single like scene or a single cut, and or a single keyframe, and like that could take like a week. So you like imagine making $2 a week for your job.
That would not be particularly motivating.
Like he was saying that in one instance he worked on a specific keyframe for like a month, and that was $5. Like imagine making $5 a month for your job.
Jeez.
Fuck no.
And I don't know how they get people to put up with that.
They like in the interview, I believe he's like, it's just passion. It's just a complete desire that I want to make anime. Like I wanted to make manga, but I wasn't good enough, so I make anime. So like he literally is like, yeah, it's like I can't imagine like people shit on these people on the internet so hard. And like some of the things are discussed, I'm like, oh my god, you fucking like make $5 a month and put your heart and soul into a project and then have someone shit on it. Like fuck you. Like I'm never going to judge an animation style ever again because of this. Like, and if I am going to criticize or judge how poorly something is animated, I'm going to look directly at the company and be like, pay your animators more and give them breaks, and maybe don't do it the week of, because he was saying like sometimes it's like so like, especially like for example Attack on Titan, it's so fucking detailed, like the animation, the expressions.
No, I've heard that like a lot of times like they gotta just rush some crap out for the broadcast, and then they'll reanimate it and fix stuff for like the DVD or Blu-ray releases.
That is 100% true. Yeah,
it'll be completely have to redo a scene because it just came out so badly, but they had to get it on the air.
Yeah, that like where like the animation is poorly, like where some people are like, what the fuck is with the shitty animation where they can't walk right? It's like, no, they because he says like the animators know they did a shit job. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the animators
Dragon Ball
always...
Super had a lot of that shit going on.
Yeah, it's fucking. It's just. I'm just like fucking. What the fuck? So, anyways, we are. So yeah. So like. So yeah. I stopped reading the manga. Like I'm gonna finish it. It's a really good manga.
I will probably wait to start reading it until end of March.
Yeah, because like part
Give
2.
me something to hold me over until. Plus, I've been. I got the video game for Xbox.
Wait, what? There's a video game? I mean, of course there's a video game, but I'm like, is it good?
I'm kind of going back through. It's all right. It's a little. It's very unpolished. It's a little janky. Actual like fighting titans and ODM gear stuff. Sometimes you'll get caught up on a weird corner and doesn't really. It kind of fucks up. But generally, that part of the gameplay is solid. But all like the other stuff. Very janky, like all like the menus and interacting with people in towns and cutscenes.
Oof,
not great. But it's I'm kind of going through the game covers the first 3 seasons.
Does it cover them like in detail, or does it cover them like the anime?
Pretty much like the anime, but with little intervals where you're swinging around, chopping up titans.
Because I'm wondering if they'll like in the like, because we've talked about it, how like the manga can give a lot more information.
I haven't gotten that far, and it just the power outage for one. So I haven't been playing that many video games just in general. So I'm up to the part where Eren needs to move the boulder to block the gate. Season 1. So very very early on. Got through basic training, basically, and then into the first campaign.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep playing it. I'll let you know how I like it. Yeah,
please do, because I'm like this will be interesting. It'll add to our overall Attack on Titan discussion. I will say this time around, just real quick, talking about both the episodes we watched, there's not a whole lot to discuss as far as parallels between like our world and what's going on. I mean, there is, but like for the most part, it's a lot. We're getting into like, okay, so this is what's going on. So real quick, I want to say in episode 11 or whatever, there's like, you see Aaron being like fight. He's like talking to himself again. And then Hanji is all like, or Hanji is like what are you, the fuck are you doing? Like, and she's like trying to play it off and whatever. And Aaron's all like, I have 3 Titans inside of me. I can do whatever the fuck I want. Like, if you have a solution.
Episode 10, didn't it?
Or 10.
The most recent one.
Yeah, 10.
They kind of blurred together for me.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm trying to remember. Episode 10, yeah. In episode 10.
I was sad to see Hanji and Aaron not getting along.
I know. Because she was reminiscing. She was all like, oh, we used to be so close back in the day. What happened to that?
Now Aaron's such a dick.
Which at first, when I saw that, I was all like, oh no, is the king influencing his behavior? Like, is he starting to like, because like it's off like throughout the whole like episodes and throughout this whole entire season, they're like, Aaron's changed. Like even in the flashback,
yeah, clearly he is a different person than he was, previous seasons.
Yeah, because like you see the flashback where they were like 2 years ago before they jump into it, and they're like, who's gonna take on the Attack Titan? And Aaron's like, I don't want any of you to have this because I care about all of you too much, and I love all of you, and then all this stuff like that, and you see all this like, but then like people are like, why are you doing this? And at first I was like, oh man, maybe he's being influenced, maybe his mind has been altered, and I'm like, I after rewatching it, I'm like, I don't think that's the case. I think he's under a lot of stress. Like he's stressing on the fact that like I only have this much time to like do stuff, and he's actually starting to think like practically. He's like, I only have this much time. We don't have enough time to do all of this stuff. I'm gonna die soon. Like, so we need to do this now.
A good explanation, if any. I wonder if there's going to be more of an inciting incident that they flash back to, where he sort of resolves to become this more hardened sacrifice. The greater, like, I'm going to do horrible shit because I think it's going to make things better.
Yeah, I don't know, because he's like, he says, because for some reason he's like, okay, so this, again, I'm flashing back to, because I watched accidentally, I watched the first episode of Attack on Titan. It was by accident, and it was the dub too. It was like I clicked it and I thought it was season 4, but for some reason I had it on episode 1, season 1. I was like,
that's good. Dub's worth watching.
Yeah, I mean,
no dubs aren't weepy enough for you, but this is actually one of the better ones, I would say.
No, I agree. I'll check it out. But I do remember watching the last episode of season 3 because I was like, back when we first started talking about this, because I wanted to like be like, okay, what happened on that last episode? And he says, when they get to the ocean, he points across the ocean and he says, they're telling me across there and da 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 da, and like, because like in season 3 we like start to see in the latter of season 3 when he's all like he's like, I've discovered the Attack Titan and da da da, and they discover the book and they're reading the book, and after Erwin dies and whatnot and all that shit. The what is it called? He points and he says they, and it's like almost there's other people in his head talking to him. And now in season 4, we're seeing that a whole lot more, where I'm wondering if it's like maybe he's not getting the king's influences, but like, how we talked last time where it's like, the coordinate and like he can have memories from all around. Sorry, microphone that I'm talking to.
Definitely some kind of fuckery is going on there.
Yeah, well, I feel like, so how like the king can influence, like he's all like whoever gets the founding titan, the king has influenced.
Yeah,
everyone.
they sort of become possessed by his will, more or less.
I'm wondering if, because Aaron is not of royal blood, that he is being influenced by everyone who has he has 3 titans inside of him. So I'm wondering if like all the
or maybe it is just the king or whatever, but it's less, pronounced or explicit control.
Well,
Where
okay.
with the with the royal blood people, when they get found, they get like full on glowing eyes and weird Zenful Buddha attitude.
Yeah.
Maybe as the control is less direct, it's less it's more problematic. Like it's driving him crazy rather
Possibly.
than just taking over him.
Yeah, or maybe he just has a lot more information now. Like he's like, I don't have the king's influences, so it's
It's
not one
true.
influence.
He is. Yeah, he's sifting through the inherited memories.
Yeah, of like
Those might be affecting his decision making.
yeah. No, I agree. Like the of the three. Okay, so I want just a quick tangent. Have you seen Watchmen? I know you watched it with me, but have you seen like the actual Watchmen series yet?
No, well, just the episode I watched with you. It's on my list of backlog. I'm going to be getting HBO Max next month for
Godzilla.
Godzilla movie. So I'll check it out then.
Yeah, there's a lot of good movies actually coming on HBO. HBO Max is pushing like the Mortal Kombat movie, Suicide Squad, like all these really cool movies that I'm like, interested in.
I know, right? Is it weird that I'm excited about a Mortal Kombat movie in like a non-ironic way? Like,
No, it's not. I feel like
that seems so weird to say out loud.
I think
Mortal Kombat movie looks good.
yeah, no, it looks legit. I'm not expecting too much from it. I'm just like, give me the cheese.
I
I want it to be cheesy. I almost don't want it to be too serious.
I mean, if it's anything like the last few games have been story wise, I'm sure it'll be good.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go in with low expectations, and hopefully I'll be pleasantly surprised.
Yes, that's
It at least looks like it has potential.
it's gonna be better than Annihilation. Watch I say that, and it's gonna be worse. I'm like, fuck.
How could it possibly be?
Don't say that. People surprise.
Yeah, I don't want to jinx it, but I mean, come on. I mean, there's a low bar, but not that low.
But okay, so this is gonna be a little bit of a. Do you care if I spoil a little bit of Watchmen for you?
Oh, not really.
Okay, so Dr. Manhattan, right? His whole concept of like time where he like lives in like
Experiences, time, nonlinear.
yeah. The show really does a great job of explaining that concept through his character. There's a point where he goes to Ozymandias and he puts a chip in him. So that means he experiences time linear. So his mind blacks out. And then as events unfold, he has to take that metal thing out. So he entrusts someone to do it. They do it, and he's all like, "Sorry, my brain's a little fuzzy. I don't know what's going on right now." And then he's talking to someone, and he's talking to the main character, and they're like, "Wait, did I like?" She reveals something that the other person didn't know, and it's what starts everything, right? And the main character's like, "Oh fuck, did I just start the apocalypse?" And Dr. Manhattan's like, "I'm sorry, my mind is a little fuzzy. I don't know what's going on, but did I do something wrong?" And I feel like it's that, but applied here in Attack on Titan, where it's like, Eren has like with the people of royal blood when they inherited the founding Titan, they're like, oh, the king has like this is my decree, this is it.
Well, also the other thing we discovered with the whole coordinate and inheriting other people's memories, it doesn't seem to work in a linear fashion. Like, Kruger, yeah, he knew Armin and Mikasa's name, which is completely impossible without some kind of time travel, like non-linear, like memories being inherited from the future or time travel.
And Kruger was all like, I don't even know who these people are, but I hope they're safe. Like he retains the feelings, but he doesn't know who they are. And he's like, I don't know whose memories these
Just knows that he needs them to be saved eventually, even though at that point they weren't born.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's definitely some sort of time travel causal loop thing going on.
Yeah, and that's where I go into like the ending and the tree and all that other stuff. But if you want to see that, I'm editing a video, and it should be in the backlog on YouTube. So, yeah.
Will be.
But yeah, but so this is where I'm wondering if like maybe he's being influenced by all three Titans. Like the founding Titan was predominantly, but like the Hammer Titan, the Attack Titan, he's getting all of these memories, and so he's like kind of gaining control of it, where he's all like he's talking to other people within his past.
Is something to consider is having at least. I mean, he's the only one in the series we know of that has had multiple Titans at once, and
Besides
that fucks with your brain. Having conflicting personalities and memories residing within you. Probably not good for your mental health.
No. And I feel like, well, other than Ymir, the first ever chick who ever got like Titan powers. But yeah, because and this is like, so like Hanj says, like, you've been doing this a lot recently. You've been talking, like, you're talking to other people. Like, I don't know who talks to themselves. It's like, you're saying this twice. You've said this like 3 times. Like, you're saying this like you're talking to other people, but there's no one here.
Yeah, she goes on a whole little riff there.
Yeah, she's all like, what the fuck's going on? Why can't it be like the good days, Aaron, when like we had a bond and everything? And I was like, damn, Hanj. Fuck.
Hanj.
And then we
Hope
find,
she lives.
yeah, and then we find like Mikasa and her whole entire thing with her hand, and that came out of nowhere. Even in the manga, I was like, where the fuck did that come from? Because I look back in the anime and I see her hand has a drawing on it, but I never paid. Like, what the fuck?
Well, I definitely never saw a symbol on her wrist before. I mean, they did a good job of hiding it, or not calling attention to it, certainly.
So like, there's a
Now, I do like in the last couple episodes where they bring back minor characters that were saved.
Yes,
by, Sasha and Mikasa in earlier seasons.
You know what I loved, and this is just like, this is not like a flex or anything, because it was pretty, I think, obvious, but like I was like looking at those characters and I'm like, that's the chick from when Mikasa said the things, and then I saw her, the blonde haired chick, and I'm like, that's the chick that Sasha saved. And I was all like, I didn't
catch it until she pointed it out. But to be fair, with that art style, everyone kind of looks alike.
Yeah, I was like watching that.
I can't assume that 2 people with the same anime haircut are the same person.
Yeah,
especially after a 4-year time jump.
Yeah, no, that's true.
Speaking of bringing back characters, the fact that Gabi and what's his face ended up at Sasha's parents' farm.
Yeah.
That's going to be a heartbreaking revelation.
Oh, they're really not letting Sasha go. They're letting everyone know, hey, by the way, we want you to remember how important Sasha was.
Yeah, so the girl at the farm was the one that Sasha saved in the previous, and then when the older folks,
in season 2,
is that the same person? Or season 2 or whatever. But are they the same? And then they're like, yeah, this is the Browse farm, and I'm like, oh, she killed their daughter. Then they're gonna go have lunch at the Marleyan restaurant where Nicolo, and it's definitely gonna come up that Gabi murdered the shit out of Sasha.
Oh, yeah, that's not even a.
Yeah. So.
Well, speaking of that, by the way,
that to look forward to next week.
By the way, speaking of that, in episode 10, they're having dinner, and the guy is drunk. One of the commanders or whatever, the one of the council people.
With complaining about Historia.
Like, he's all like, "How dare she find someone?" That read to me, I should fuck Historia. That's all I heard out of his mouth.
I definitely didn't get that from it, but okay.
Well, he's all like, "How dare she marry?" Stuff like that. She needs to have babies. We should fuck. Like, we should get her pregnant. Like, right? Like, what the fuck? She has to be.
I didn't take that away from her that they wanted to get her pregnant.
No, I'm not talking about they. I was talking about him specifically, because he was way more upset. Way more, like, because he's all like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like, it's not some lowlife. It's not some random dude. She's happy. They were childhood friends. Like, fucking leave her alone. And he's like, no! How dare she sleep with another... I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I just seen too many...
It's odd that it is seemingly like a random, unnamed character. Like, they aren't revealing anything. It's just some dude. You know each other. Don't worry about it.
It just...
I'm like, that seems a little too. It's an anime, right? It's gonna turn out to be. There's gonna be some kind of twist or reveal there.
Yeah, I get. I think the twist. Well, that's what I
Not.
was-
And honestly, it would be more surprising if there wasn't some sort of twist to it.
I don't know. I don't think there's gonna be like a huge twist. I think what it's gonna be is like, so the twist I think is like Nicolo, but like, cause like, I'm sorry, just real quick, I want to hammer. I'm sorry, it probably wasn't read that way or meant to be read that way. I read it that way mainly because I've seen so many fucking people on the internet trash like female streamers or whatever being like, oh, you have a boyfriend? Fuck you for I'm like, what the fuck is this? We're all people behind the screen, by the way. Hi, hello. I'm not you are not entitled to me. Like, just because like if I ever get
Yeah, I
married,
see what you're playing off or channeling, and that I definitely didn't come across. I mean, they were still assholes.
they were yeah. I'm just sorry. I saw a lot of that and it just reminded me of that. That's all.
It's a more like they wanted to breed her children as soldiers, like to
Yeah.
pick a military, like a sort of Nazi eugenics type thing.
Yeah, that was
we gotta make the members of ABBA type
Yeah.
thing.
But by the way,
Thing like a couple of the members of ABBA, like they were part of a Nazi eugenics experiment.
did not know that, but holy fuck.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, their fathers were like Nazi officers that were impregnated Swedish women as part of a program to breed more Aryans.
What the fuck? Why are people so fucked up?
Yeah, I mean, the more I read about these Nazis, the more they seem like bad dudes. They're so popular. It's their sharp outfits, I think. They're very snappy dressers.
Yeah. So there's so like okay, so like the Marlian server there is going down because the guy spilt his wine. He's like, "Get me more wine, you fucking Marlian scum," or whatever. And you see Nicolo, and I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into this, but he's all like, "This wine, right?" And he hands it over to him, and I'm like, "That's sus. Is there poison in that wine? Is what's going on here?"
It'd be weird if they poisoned them and then waited like 3 episodes to let you know.
No, oh no, this is in episode 10. We're in episode 10.
Yeah, no, but like, they don't reveal them to have been poisoned. That
No,
was like a flashback. So, like, if they poisoned them, then you didn't show the conclusion. So it's kind of what?
No, it wasn't a flashback. They were. This was.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is more or less in the present, but time is continuing to go by. So by the time you reveal that they were poisoned, it's so far back in it story wise, like beat to beat, it's gonna feel weird and out of order.
I don't think so. I think the reveal is so like okay. I was gonna say because like it was just a weird scene. And if you think of it in the context of like the overall like figuring out what this whole, it looks like there's a coup happening, right? Where like there's like in this recent episode there's like obviously Flock or Floch. How do you spell that? Floch?
Flesh,
Floch?
flesh.
I don't know. Whatever.
Something
I
like
spelled
that.
his name. I spelled his name.
Yes.
You know. Oh, this will be the one time where I'm like, okay, maybe I should put like text here. I don't know. Editing these podcasts is draining.
How do we? Arman, not Armin.
Armin, Erwin, Hans.
Angie. Also, I just want to point out it's weird how racist people are towards Marlian, considering they didn't know they exist till like a year ago.
Yeah, but like
how widespread, like being like Marlian scum. I just found out you exist, but I hate you.
Well,
and
like
I
when you
always
find
have.
out that the Titans and everything that's bad has happened to your town, like the destruction of Wall Maria and stuff like that, is because of these Marlians. I feel like that's very easy to latch on. Like these are these people are the reason why.
But still, it's just a little interesting how quickly they got on board the collective racism. It's like go full on to a sprint.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ease your way into racism.
I see that and I'm just like, I get that, but like with coronavirus, Like we saw how quickly it was to easily just bash on another race.
But we knew those races existed beforehand.
Yeah, I mean, let's be fair though. Like, I feel like it's very easy to just be like I've seen I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I've seen how quickly people
from thinking that no races exist outside of these walls to there are people and we hate them.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it's so easy for like because you've seen how easy like for example we've seen this in the past with the Scout Regiment, right? There are people who hated the Scout Regiment or like who would like we're just like
It's not the hatred itself, it's just how like organized it seemed to be already. Like, did they have a meeting where they pitched slurs to each other?
oh, it didn't happen overnight. It happened over the past 4 years.
Yeah, a couple of years, but still, there seems to be a homogenized version of that hatred that they've collectively bought into.
I guess I don't know. I mean, 4 years is a lot to like we've seen what can happen in 4 years. I feel like 4 years isn't a lot, especially with parody. It's not like the whole island was inhabited. It was just this one concentrated area. So like
It's not that concentrated. Whole like all the wall in area is like the size of Sweden.
is it?
It's huge. Yeah, it's like the size of a full country. There are hundreds of miles in between. It's like 100, 150, and then like 250 kilometers in between each of the walls.
Okay.
But the collective like space in there is the size of like a medium-sized European country.
But that whole all but yeah, but not all of those spaces are inhabited.
Yeah, and there's like a fairly low population density. There's only like 100,000 people living in a
Yeah.
country the size of Sweden, which has a population of 9 million.
So I don't think 4 years isn't that. I think 4 years is a reasonable amount of time to develop that kind of like.
So I just, like I'm saying, it's just they're very organized about it, and I admire that.
You admire that?
Oh, I don't. I'm being facetious.
I know.
One of those things, like, oh, weird. They all kind of got on board with the
Racism. Yeah.
not just the racism, but a very like fully formed, consistent hate about them and what we call them.
What Marley and Scum was really hard to. Like I haven't heard anything like I haven't heard a racial slur. I've heard insults throughout the whole entire series. I don't think there's ever been like
But I'm saying that it's like almost to that point where like, did you guys have a meeting about this where you decided?
Well, I mean, possibly. Like, remember?
How do you got this?
Well, like,
Just like we wouldn't have a real world like way equivalent necessarily.
yeah.
Like finding out like a new country existed and then forming like a series of slurs and racial epithets
I
and
guarantee.
like bullet points. Of
I
why
guarantee
Nathan-
you, if we ever found
I'm
alien
sure-
life, we would. If we found if we went
space
on Mars and we drilled in the lake that they're gonna drill in, and all of a sudden it's like like in Lost, where it's like an underground, not Lost the series, but like Lost World or whatever. It's a movie. Used to be an old '80s show, but basically like they discover that there's a primitive prehistoric world underneath the ground inside this like cave that no one can get to. If like they found out that there's like Martian life underneath like Mars,
Talking about Land of the Lost,
Land of the Lost. Thank you.
the Sleesacks.
Yeah, whatever. I guarantee you, if we found something like that, or if we they were in Mars and like they found out that there's Martians, I guarantee you there would be a good amount of people that would find a way to really just hate them and be racist.
These lazy Martian Sleesacks. They come to our country. They don't learn the language. They probe my asshole.
See, you're already starting it.
Just practicing.
So yeah, so it's
I mean, if you just lunge head first into racism like that, you're gonna sprain something. You gotta keep those racism muscles limber.
but yeah, so like there's that, and the fact that like so like there's not like there's the ice burst, and we see Zeke. Hey, we finally see some of Zeke's plan, where he's all like, yeah, there's this ice burst. You can get some of the mineral resources there. Paradise is too.
He's using that
to get other. Remember, I was all like, yeah, other worlds are going to be a part of this. I was like, yes. I felt so validated.
It looks like they built a helicopter or something, or like some kind of helicopter, hovercopter type thing.
Yeah, well, it looks like a boat. I thought it was a boat, but yeah. You know what? It could be a helicopter.
It is a flying, like a combat attack flying, like a remember old school Command and Conquer? They had like the hovercopter things.
Yeah,
that like a alien colonial marine dropship type thing.
Yeah, so I think you're right. I was like, my dumb ass was all like, it's in water, it's a boat, and I'm like. Now that you mention, I'm like, yeah, how would the fuck would they see this if they're probably going to get a helicopter, they're going to film it and stuff like that, or like some flying thing. But it looks cool, and it looks like so we saw like they're using Mikasa, like, oh my god, you're the heir, and it's like Mikasa's all like, you motherfuckers just using me right now.
It definitely seems like that. I don't know how legit that thing is, if is it complete bullshit or just
is she
a little
actually
bit
an
bullshit.
heir?
Yeah, is she the whole her Ackerman side and her like Asian side are two separate things. Like she's an Ackerman on her father's side.
Yeah,
she's like one of this lost, Asian royal family thing on her mother's side. Mm-hmm. Like how like legit is that? It's hard to tell.
Well,
if they're just shitting.
Yeah, I don't know, because her mother said hide the symbol, and she showed Aaron, only because she like trusts Aaron, and we know. So like, funny enough, they say that they're like Grisha when talking to Aaron and going up to talk to Mikasa's father is all like, oh, Mr. Ackerman, how is your arm? And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So I felt validated in that. I was all like, oh my god, oh, they said it. We didn't know what an Ackerman was at the time.
I told you multiple times that they said it, and you were like, "What did they? I don't remember."
No, I thought
had this whole argument where like, "Yeah, she's an Ackerman." They stated it multiple times.
Yeah, no. I remember we were talking to Acturian about, because that's the episode I'm editing right now, and I just got past the point where we're like, because he was also trying to tell us like. Kenny was the father of Levi, and we're like, no. So
it's kind of initially hinted at, but it turns out to be a red herring.
Yeah, which is exactly what
he had he read the comics to the end or up to date, so he had spoilers.
Yeah,
he was withholding from us on purpose because we asked him to. Let's be fair.
Yeah, so he was probably trying to be vague. Or like trying to mislead us.
He didn't want to accidentally spoil shit just in case we weren't at the point.
Yeah.
But yeah, that Mikasa, like her being a lost princess, special chosen one, young adult novel protagonist. How real is that? We don't know.
Oh yeah, I don't know. That could be other bullshit, because remember they're known as like, she's drooling when she's like, oh, you have resources, money, but we don't want money, and they're chill.
Definitely more interested in the financial gains of establishing the whole chosen one thing. Seems like a bit of a con.
Yeah, I don't know how true that is. I wonder what her symbol means.
It's either a lot of bullshit or a little bit of bullshit. There's definitely some bullshit in there.
Yeah, I wonder because obviously her mother said never show this to anybody, and I'm like,
we don't necessarily know that that's why.
Yeah,
could mean something completely different.
Could mean she's like a special, unique, rare Asian or something like that. I don't know. And also,
she's like the Ackerman. It's like some sort of weird genetic experiment.
Yeah. So this is weird. Now we're getting like Mikasa's having all of these strange flashbacks, and she's starting to go a little bit insane, I guess, because she's all like, what, like her vision turns red. Like there's that whole scene where it's like just red pan where she's like having her memory, but everything's red, and then it's black and white, and then it's back in color, and then it's like all over the place.
I didn't really understand what was going on with that. Like, why was she suddenly freaking out about the Aaron? Maybe it's just sort of like she's sort of realizing, oh wait, Aaron was always kind of a serial killer, and we didn't address that sooner, and now he might go crazy and kill everybody.
Oh yeah, fuck. Okay, so
It's kind of what I was getting from it. Like she's kind of like, when he went dead-eyed and then killed all those people in cold blood when he was 10, maybe we should have gotten him some therapy.
Yeah, okay, so here's the thing.
Maybe not sweep that under the rug and not talk about it. If we'd kind of addressed it then, he might be more well-adjusted.
I was about to say, because remember, I accidentally watched the first episode, and that was in the first episode, where Mikasa flashes back to how Eren and Mikasa met. Yeah, and we also talked about how he switched personalities in season 3. That would explain a lot, because I forgot about it, but in that first episode, he switches personalities.
He full on goes full dissociative serial killer
In that flashback.
It's not like it's not like a fight or flight thing where he's freaking out and he has to react in the second. He just goes full on dead. I'm going to murder you people. And I think that's sort of what she's thinking back to. It's oh man, this was not so out of the blue. Eren always had issues like this.
Yeah, so I'm wondering if maybe all of his moods, his whole entire his emotional change in season 3, his flashback, and his current emotional change, as well as when he was a kid. I'm wondering if all of that's maybe it's that would
maybe it's a Dexter Dark Passenger kind of metaphor.
And now I'm thinking well, maybe he is talking to other voices, but maybe it's not. I don't fucking know.
They're just him being a legit crazy person.
Yeah, because we've seen it. We've seen it in Rhino, where he has he splits his mind, and he's all why is this happening? And you're
why is Marco being eaten?
Yeah, you're going.
Maybe it's a recurring theme that we just hadn't occurred to us that it applied to Eren too.
Yeah,
sort of the strains of all this fucking terror. Yeah. That is a thing that especially in psychology, people who are dissociative or psychopaths, or not psychopath, what's the other one? Sociopath. It's usually the result of a trauma where they're abused and they just kind of go dead inside rather than deal with the world. So, I remember that from an episode of House.
But like I said, there's I can't remember, because they discuss the plans. We get to see Zeke's plan, where he's all in detail this time, where he's all pregnate, this, these are the steps, this is what we need to do. And we're okay, so we got his plan. And we also
still love more details, because it is kind of vague.
Oh, fuck.
It's more of an outline of a plan than a full-on... fuck what?
No, I wanted to go into, because there's two things. One, the stress of poor Hanj. First off,
she's not good. She needs a friend.
Yeah, she's like Reiner, but with more motivation, because she's all fuck my life. I wish I was dead.
It's just she's got a lot of pressure.
Yeah, I felt so sad when the guy was all Hanj, look me in the eye and tell me you're not lying to me. And she's this is for the best of humanity. And she just walks away. I'm God damn it, Hanj!
I know. I want things to go well for her.
I know. She's gonna do some more information and information. Oh yeah, that was right. The information gathering was the interview. No, yeah, she's gonna go do some information gathering. I'm wondering what that is. Pixis.
Yeah, me too.
Pixis is taking a real main role in this season. I forget. He
kind of fell out of the series for a while,
and now he's
fell into the background, except during the whole Historia coup thing.
Yeah,
he had a bit of a role, but other than that, you barely saw him since season 1.
Yeah, you saw him a little bit in season 2, and then once in season 3. And then the tail end of season 3, he's back again, but he's not even prominent. He's just oh, Erwin, you need me to help you with something? Cool. I'm kind of retired. I'm enjoying my retired life, but I can help you out a little bit. And then,
yeah, but I like him as a character, so I welcome him back.
Oh yeah, open arm. Well, all the characters in Attack on Titan are very well done.
Yeah,
but he was
interesting, and he's definitely not an asshole, which I appreciate.
Oh yeah, he's definitely ooh, I could have lunch.
One of the good ones.
He oh yeah, so that going back into it because we never we touched on it a little bit. Niccolo with his whole my theory that he like poisoned or did something bad. The reason I think this is because, and we also get it's a callback. They're gonna have lunch or dinner at Nico's place. In addition to all of that, we see now that like a Flock was kind of like at the same time Aaron started to change his mind about things because Aaron was against Zeke's plan. He's all like, there has to be a better way. The moment Aaron changed his mind is the moment Zeke was like 2 miles away from Aaron's house. And also Flock was part of your crew for 3 years. And like he was also Zeke's handler for those 3 years. And, you know, it was like up until 2 years ago that all of a sudden like Flock went back to Aaron's house and to Zeke's house and was handling you guys for a little bit.
There's something going on that we don't know about. It changed Aaron's mind about what to do and made him go off and go rogue.
Yeah, and then also we get in. So like this is where like I wonder what Hanj is gonna investigate, and this is why I think Nico did something because I feel like Nico is part of that. Like because there's this resistance going on. It looks like, but it looks like they're like the resistance isn't trying to stage a coup. They're trying to just be like, no, we're all on the same side, and we don't mind being put in jail, but like just know that like
they're on Zeke's side rather than Parody's side.
Yeah.
So their goals may not be the same.
That's true.
We still don't know a lot about Zeke's plan long term. You got the 3 bullet points, things they are going to do with the rumbling and building up the military might and you know, trading the next generation of shifter titans.
Mm-hmm.
Like as like how it will all play out, we really don't know.
And then well, now it's making me think maybe Historia's baby is of royal blood, but her childhood friend that she married is like the cover.
Yeah, it's suspicious. It's suspiciously vague, and
then,
especially for an anime plot point. It's like the fact that it doesn't tie into anything else doesn't make sense.
But they spend a lot of time on it,
and keep repeating that. Oh, it's nobody. Don't worry about it.
And then going
the fact that they would go over and over to say that it's nobody you know, but also don't look into it too much. You can't actually see the guy. There's something going on with that they're hiding. It's like a misdirect.
And then so like also the orphanage that like Sasha like the place, remember they mentioned Historia as well, so it ties into that. Like all these kids at the orphanage are all like part of Historia's. Remember she would like ran an orphanage because she felt
her orphanage program, the orphan, well, like she grew up on a similar thing.
Yeah,
she's very like involved in those farms personally,
which
and all of the orphans at the farm were people that were killed by, you know, Reiner and his and Zeke's initial attempt at evasion.
And then going into like Gabi and Falco's whole entire escape. I find it funny because I'm watching this and we're like, yeah, Falco and Gab, like, and I still think this. I still think Falco and Gabi have to join Zeke and whatnot. But like, I remember there was like speculation of whether they weren't or like it was going to happen, but we didn't know how. And we're like, well, they're going to be prisoners. And maybe...
I mean, Falco, I think, yeah, but Gabi keeps racking up a body count. Like every 5 minutes, she's trying to murder somebody else.
I know.
Eventually, you've gone too far. Casually trying to murder people in the middle, in broad daylight, in an open field. She, like as soon as like someone talks to her, she's like grabbing the nearest rock or pitchfork to murder someone.
Yeah.
While screaming about how she's a good Eldian and she all the demons. It's like she full on drank the Kool-Aid. Like complete nut job. It's way more expressed in this most recent episode. But we already knew, like, she's really like into this. The whole zealotry is like, no, she's like full on, like, needs to be deprogrammed.
Yeah, but like you, like, but I gotta say it. I gotta say, I love the scenes with Gabi. Like, I don't care who hates me for it, because you
specifically.
The reason I love it so much is because you see, especially when I forgot her name, but she's like grilling Gabi. She's like, "Why did my mother deserve to die? Why did my mother deserve to die? Why did she's like, who cares what happened a century ago?" And she's like, "Well, because you see the logic
to do with anything."
Yeah, you see the logic of these people.
I get what you get. What you're saying there is, it's nice to see Gabi confronted like how bullshit her entire life philosophy is.
Yeah. Well, it's
Like you want her to have a breakdown and realize, like, oh shit, everything I know is wrong.
but you also see
They're
how
not- we'll
hard it
get
is
that
for it to
eventually.
change that.
Yeah.
Because like again,
I hope eventually she realizes, holy shit, my life is a lie, and it's either that or she dies. So we'll see what it comes to.
yeah. I mean, because like, here's the thing: is it like we talked about it in previous episodes, where we're like, oh yeah, this relates to like the whole Black Lives Matter things. This relates to World War II. This relates to the Native American experience. This relates to like we relate it to all of these like things where you see like the Uncle Toms and all this other stuff, where you see like this self-loathing, the self-hate, this like religion of devil's blood and sin. And you see, like, she's literally like, you don't believe in Jesus, so you're going to hell because you don't know the sins of your ancestors. She flat out says that. And I'm like, fuck.
Yeah, basically that. It's full on
Republican, GOP, Trump supporter, MAGA hat.
drinking the Kool-Aid. I definitely didn't use that, but yeah, there's some of that in there.
Like, well, I mean, because she
Like,
says things
Totally
from like,
radicalized against her own people.
and you see all of this, and you see how deep it can be. Like, I want to relate it to like what's going on now because obviously it's hyper relevant, but just because it's so
Uncomfortably so.
yeah, uncomfortably so. But like it goes into this real depth of how rooted it is in her, and you see she's having this crisis of faith, but she's holding on to that faith even though she's being proven.
Yeah, but she's having a mental breakdown as the very like her fundamental core beliefs keep getting challenged by empirical evidence she's seeing out in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She's grown up thinking they're demons, they're devils, and then she has to sit there and see them. They're just normal, nice, regular people.
Yeah,
and she keeps freaking out and tries to murder them.
I know. And like she like freaks out when they touch her. She freaks out, and then she's all like, she calls her all this stuff like that, and then she's all like, oh, what was they're like Ben and Ellie or whatever, and she's like
Ben and Mia,
yeah, and she's like, oh, Mia's trying to like thinks I'm trying to steal her brother or whatever, and and Gabby's like, am I the villain? You see that look on her face, like.
Also, there's the thing where they're like, you knew we're from Marley, and like, yeah, you guys keep yelling about it. You're really bad at being secretive.
Yeah. Also, they're like the whole entire comic routine where Gabby's all like, "It's the devil's fault. The horse bit my head," and all. And I'm like, "What the fuck is this?
It's just a horse."
What the fuck are we watching right
now? Now that she's out of her like element, like she's good at following. She's very entrenched in the status quo of Marley, and like now that she's out of that, her element is she's like flailing.
Yeah.
Like she cannot handle life in the real world.
It's so sad. And then you see like
that sort of imposed structure.
I love that we go back to the village, that like, because you see all the growth around it. Like you're like, oh, okay, so that's like, because we were there when like there was no
abandoned
growth. Yeah. And she's like, okay, we're gonna have a real conversation right now. And she's like, yeah. So like, she's like, well, it happened 100 years ago. It's like, yeah, but what the fuck does that have to do with us? Like, and she's like, well, you guys recently destroyed our stuff. And she's like, yeah, but what happened?
My mom was already dead by then.
Yeah, like,
and then Falcon's like, that was us. We attacked you, and we're Marley's the reason that your mom got murdered for no reason.
Yeah, and she's like also
she was a collateral damage and a thing that had nothing to do with anyone.
I love Falco in this moment because he's like, I apologize, and because you can see Falco is like, the
surprisingly well grounded considering
everything.
He came from the same environment that Gabby did, but like he sort of realized that it was bullshit. He's not like played along with it because you have to survive, but he didn't really believe all the like devil.
He's like, fuck this.
Not
shit.
To the hardcore belief that Gabby clearly does. It's like they just say that. I mean, they're not literally devils. They're just we're at war with them. And
yeah, he's reasonable because like remember Reiner was all like, I could fuck.
He's
like, fuck this shit, fuck this system, fuck this country. He's like how I feel about Texas right now. He's like, I don't hate Texans or anything like that, but god damn it, the leaders of my fucking state are garbage ass people. And I swear, like, fuck Ted Cruz. I can't.
Didn't
go
you
out
see
and
his
that.
Instagram post where he put water in that car in an empty parking lot?
What? No, fuck that guy. I don't give a
No.
shit about his. Like, I don't give 2 fucks. And like, it's sad because like I can't.
I know. I
there,
agree.
there are people where I can like, be like, yeah, this is how reality is, and then there are people like
It
where I'm
clearly
like,
sucks.
I can't tell this around you because it'll start an argument, even though it really shouldn't, because it's like there's evidence around. Like there are people saying that it didn't snow.
Oh,
in
believe me, I
Texas.
get you. I live in the deep south here, so
Like
that's my whole day.
It's like fuck. Like how can you be so fucking retarded?
We're at work, they're like, "Oh, President Biden's the reason why the gas is so high." It's like, no, there's a winter storm. It shut down a bunch of refineries and makes it harder for trucks. There's a supply chain issue. That's why gas is, slightly higher this week than it was a couple weeks ago, and it has nothing to do with the president. I don't feel like arguing with the redneck. It's my whole day these days. Everybody that comes in grumbling about just dumb fucking politics shit.
It's ridiculous, and I'm just like, I don't get it. I get it. Obviously I get it, but like
Even now, I still see so many Trump 2020 hats.
it's like you get it, but you at the same time you don't get it. Like I don't know if there's a word for that. Like because I understand why they believe what they believe. Attack on Titan does a great job of explaining that, but like at the same time I'm like, how?
I'm too depressed to fight them about it.
Yeah. I think we've done a good job of covering a lot of the stuff because there's not like a whole lot left to cover other than like Gabi having her whole entire crisis of faith because she got her mouth shut. Like she's all like, because like Falco's like, I'm sorry. And Gabi's like, why are you apologizing? He's like, listen, like, fuck, it's not her fault. It's not anyone's fault. Like we were indoctrinated in a shitty system. The things you believe are bullshit. And Gabi's just like, and then all of a sudden she's all like, listen, I want to be okay. This made me cry. I literally cried 2 tears because I was trying to hold back my tears. I'm like, I'm not gonna cry today. But she's like, I want to be like Sasha. I want to be a good person, and I want to be. And she's like, I want to try and help those in need. And I'm like,
kept waiting for her to say Sasha's name. I wasn't sure if that was going to drop in that episode. It'll probably come up in the next one.
She doesn't.
Because, she keeps saying she wanted, but she never puts her by name, which Gabi, I'm sure, would recognize. So, Gabi keeps freaking out as she's confronted with stuff that are contrary to her beliefs. And every time it does happen, she seems to choose violence above all else.
Oh yeah, she's
That's
very
her
Aaron.
immediate reaction. Yeah, season 1 Aaron. It was sad. Like when like Falco was trying to get her to take off her armband, and she was like just having a full-on mental breakdown about it.
And Falco's like, why? Like I love Falco. I love Falco in this because he's like so Armin like a little bit, but he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? This symbol means that we are lesser than human. It literally means we are garbage. Why do you want this? She's like, I'm a good Eldian. I'm like, fuck your good Eldian bullshit.
She very much drinks the Kool-Aid.
Yeah, she it was full on like it was like Karen levels of meltdown. Like, what do you mean I can't get ice cream? This you're trying to kill me.
Breathing disorder.
Fucking guy.
Speech means I don't have to wear a mask at Trader Joe's.
It's so fucking. That was the level of meltdown though.
Pretty much, yeah.
It was like watching someone find out God isn't real. And then they're like having a full-blown meltdown. I'm just like, fuck. It was so crazy. But I like cried. I was all like, oh god damn it.
The world is falling apart.
Because the girl who saved the chick that Gabi and Falco are talking to, she doesn't know Sasha's name. Sasha never tells her name. Like, because when Sasha
has to know, though, if Sasha didn't tell her then, she's living on Sasha's parents' farm. She 100% knows Sasha's name.
Okay.
Not from her personally, then from her family.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
She lives and works on the Browse farm.
So I guess you're like, yeah, I guess,
People running the farm are literally Sasha's parents.
Yeah,
are grieving death of their daughter Sasha, who just died. That is killed by the kids who are now hiding out at the farm.
Yeah, I'm surprised that she hasn't said her
It's
name.
gotta come up.
It just feels weird then that she's like the girl, like she's like the girl who saved my life, the girl who I'm like, say her
She has
fucking name
no
then.
reason. I wanted that to happen too, but she has no reason to believe that name would mean something to Gabi or Falco.
I guess that's true.
She definitely doesn't know that. I mean, I can't imagine how she would know that they killed her. I just know that Sasha died.
I know, but it feels weird because I was like waiting
Nobody's
for it,
made
but I was
that
still
connection yet.
I was so
I mean, the
wrecked.
hammer's definitely going to drop in the next episode. It has to.
It really does.
It's not going to go over well, I'm sure.
There's a lot. I think we've covered pretty much everything at this point, though. Hanj. So to recap, Hanj is gonna do some more information gathering. I don't know what. All she says is, "I need to do more research and I need to find out more information."
She's got to figure out what Flock or Fleisch or whoever
What their whole
he
thing is.
told Aaron. Yeah, there's some sort of conspiracy going on in the background there. Changed Aaron's and Zeke's plan.
Pixis and Yelena are gonna have that lunch or dinner or whatever. Oh my god! I just realized. So what if they're all like, because Pixis is like, hey, we're gonna have our dinner now. This is nice. What if they're all doing it at Nicolo's place? So like Pixis and Yelena are gonna have their dinner there. Gabi,
Everyone happens to all be having this dinner at an episode of Three's Company where they all just happen to cross paths at the same restaurant at the same time.
I'm thinking, yeah.
I mean, sure, it seems it's a little bit of a stretch of a little too coincidental.
I know, but when you say, "Oh, we're gonna,"
So Yelena is a prisoner, so it'd be weird if they did that at a restaurant.
well, because
just
Pixis
having
is like, I guess
catering.
we're gonna have that dinner, and it wouldn't be that weird because it could be in a like private area or whatever. Because Pixis is a pretty reasonable
Yes.
guy. Also, it's at a Marleyan like whatever. Like it's like not like it's not a place. It's not like Nicolo's restaurant is like a place
There
that everyone
is
goes
the
to.
odd chance that because they're semi-captive workers, perhaps the restaurant is where Yelena is being held. Like there's a loft situation where they have quarters up above, but they operate a restaurant on like the ground floor.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking
It's the same
because
building.
yeah, because I'm thinking like the restaurant
I think
is
that's a reasonable. Like where Yelena is being held is also the restaurant. It's the same building.
yeah.
Only because that's where the Marleyans or Marletians who are being held,
Captive.
quote unquote, captive, also live and work.
Yeah, because like that's what I'm thinking.
They're not being held in a prison, but they're sort of under house arrest.
Yeah,
Some of them operate a restaurant out of that area.
Yeah, I mean that's essentially what I'm thinking because like remember like it doesn't seem like regular people go there to eat. It seems like only soldiers. And because like if a soldier goes there and you do something stupid,
Yeah, like
there's a
by
soldier there,
invitation or whatever.
and then
It's a little like, oh, you all happen to be having restaurant. All the main characters, all the different like side stories happen to have dinner at the same restaurant at the same time.
well, I don't think all the side stories.
Little
I'm just thinking
sitcom-y.
Pixis, Yelena, Falco, Gabi, and all of them. And I think that's it. I don't think there's gonna be like I don't think Aaron or any of the other prisoners are gonna be there. But I think also what's going on with Zeke because he was left in the woods, and
Yeah, he's under. Levi's keeping an eye on him. I'm not sure exactly what they're waiting for.
yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
they're probably waiting to hear back from Hanj and like the Historia and the council on what they're going to do next,
With Aaron,
how they're going to deal.
there's still a lot of mystery, and also Hanj says,
Yeah,
"I
there's
never
a
thought
lot
you would
up in the air.
sacrifice Historia." This is gonna sound weird. Do you think Aaron impregnated Historia?
That is a theory.
I
There's
mean, I
gotta
know
be more going on. There's got to be more going on with the whole. There's no way Historia's baby daddy is just some rando. There's got to be more going on with that. It's too much of a red herring misdirect the way they've been kind of covering it and also trying to like hide it under the rug. I'd be shocked if there isn't more going on with that going forward.
Yeah. So I guess predictions for next episode or predictions for the rest of the series because there's only fucking 5 episodes left. Actually,
Yeah,
I think
know.
they are going to do a part 2.
break.
I honestly think they're going to do a part 2. That is my theory.
Yeah, they would have to. It's completely impossible that this isn't going to be broken up into season or part 2 like they did with season 3.
Mhm.
Next week, awkward dinner. conversation.
Awkward dinner.
It's gonna be like a episode of Three's Company. Mr. Roper comes in the wrong door. What's his face is trying to have a dinner with 2 dates at the same time, and then everybody gets murdered. Yep, murderous dinner.
Murderous dinner.
Go to the dinner, and Gabi is gonna be like, by the way, I murdered this bitch named Sasha this one time a couple days ago, and everybody's gonna think that's very rude.
And she's gonna be like,
and
no,
they're
don't
gonna
worry,
have
she was a
lots of
devil.
it. No, don't worry. Yes, exactly. She was unclean, and we have wiped her from the earth.
Just like I will wipe
As
all of
is
you
our-
from the
our-
earth. I mean, Gabi
Then
has
she will
some
pick up the
self-awareness of what
nearest
she's doing. She's
Heavy
like,
object. She doesn't really, does she?
yeah, she literally
Every
looks at
time
Falco and
somebody
be like,
says-
why did you have to do this? Well, you don't have to die. Like, I came here to die.
Anytime she gets in any kind of like anything fucking happens, she grabs the nearest sharp or heavy object and tries to murder somebody.
Yeah, I
It's
think
her only go-to.
I think she is having the same experience that Reiner is having. She's gonna have the same mental breakdown at some point.
Oh, and also, it looks like Marley is going to launch a surprise assault.
I
Not
totally
berries.
forgot about that. I'm
Murphy.
so glad you said that.
Credits, yeah. I kind of forgot about it. Just, you normally don't get anything after the credit sequence.
Yeah. Also,
I
what
was
the fuck is
surprised
with,
when it popped back on.
what the fuck is with Reiner doing a 180 and be like, we have to do a surprise attack. Let's go. Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck, Reiner? You were trying to commit suicide a few days ago.
Reinventing himself. He's got to keep it fresh. He reinvents himself every couple of seconds. He's a new guy. Madonna.
Yeah, oh man, this also, how the fuck did they find, like, I get it, they like logicked how Zeke betrayed them, but there was a few jumps. I feel like there was a few jumps they took to be like, we think this all happened and Zeke has done all of this, and I'm like, how do you know he just wasn't captured? Like, what?
Yeah, they shouldn't be so sure about it.
They were like 100% positive.
Yeah, I mean they got it right. They had other stuff to go on, like not Galliard, Peak, or how Peak.
Yeah,
well,
her whole
I'm
entire
bad at
theory
it.
and stuff like that, and Reiner's experience
where she recognized Yelena. So they're going off more than just the fact that they couldn't find all of Zeke's body.
But I feel like it should be like It
The
should
fact
still be
that they were able
speculative.
to get it spot on and be so sure about it is a little bit of a stretch.
I mean, if they like said we speculate, I would have been like, oh, okay. But they're like, we're 100% sure that they did this, and we're gonna do a counter launch attack. We're just gonna get the world out. I'm like,
we can
whoa.
assume that this is what's happening based on the evidence we have. He definitely did this. That bastard.
And they're like all on board with it. I'm like,
You
God.
can see here from the blast explosion that he clearly blew his arms and legs up and then was carried away to freedom like a typical asshole.
Yeah, and they're like, it had to be the pilot.
Armless, legless bastard.
Yeah. But so like apparently they're gonna launch a surprise attack. I'm wondering if Reiner is gonna switch it again. If he's gonna like betray everyone. He's all like, listen, like I'm gonna do
You
one.
can't tell with him. Like I said, he changes his mind and motivation so often and so like sharply. It's impossible to know which way the wind blows is how I'm motivated today.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's not even counting in his split personality.
Oh yeah, shit. I wonder if they're gonna like have that play a role. Although it looks like he got better. It looks like his split personality is gone.
He's got Daniel Day-Lewis disease where he just like full on disappears into his character and forgets about reality.
I just want to get it out of the way. You're done with your predictions, or did
That's
you?
that's what I got for next week. I'm excited to see what happens though.
Oh, same. I am so excited. Like, I think they're gonna have the dinners all in there. I think it's gonna be revealed that Niccolo is, because Niccolo I feel like can go either way, but I feel like he's one of the like Zeke Aaron supporters. Like he is but he has a close relationship with like Connie and Mikasa and Jean.
Sasha.
Yeah, and Sasha. And so I'm wondering if
Something more is definitely going on with him. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah, but I feel like that's going to be... They're all going to have dinner there. It's going to be a little bit... Oh! Niccolo's probably going to try and kill Gabi.
I was going to float that earlier, but it's a little dark to have him kill a child.
Is it?
Somebody's
Is it? We saw Sophie and like the other children die right before our eyes.
I know, but still, Nicolo hasn't really been portrayed as a cold-blooded killer.
No, but he does.
I think he might want to, but he doesn't have it in him.
So yeah,
I don't think he's got it. I don't think he's got the guts to choke out a child.
So yeah, so we're gonna. So I feel like Gabi's gonna freak out seeing other Marleyans because she knows those Marleyans. She's aware of them.
All she does anymore is freak out.
Yeah, she's probably
about everything, and then try to murder.
I feel like Nicolo is gonna.
He's going to try to murder at least 3 separate people in the next episode. That's my prediction. None of them will deserve it. None of them will see it coming or will have provoked her in any significant way. But she will pick up like a fork, a knife, a rock, something, and try to murder at least 3 separate people. That is my prediction. Episode 12.
I think. I feel like we're gonna get a little bit more of Zeke. We're gonna see because there's gonna be.
I hope so.
That investigation.
She's been kind of absent from the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
Sideline and like I said, we don't have a lot of details on his plan. We just got those 3 bullet points.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see Hanj and Pixis
knowing his motivation and what's going on with him. We need to see how the sausage is made.
Yeah. I think we're gonna get a flashback. We're gonna get a flashback to that 2 years ago, where you see Falco going back and forth. I feel like they're gonna. I swear to God, it feels like they're also gonna touch on Mikasa's whole because that was a pretty big chunk. They spent a lot of time on Mikasa this time. Like Armin wasn't in this episode at all. Yeah, I think they're gonna have the dinner. I think Nicolo is gonna want to really fucking kill Gabi. I think Falco is gonna. Be awesome. Zeke, we're gonna get some Zeke. We're gonna get some Mikasa. Mikasa's having her own crisis of faith or something. I don't know, but we're gonna get some Mikasa, and I hope Mikasa goes to Eren. I hope Mikasa goes down and starts to have. I think that's what's gonna happen. Mikasa's gonna go down and have a serious conversation with Eren.
Why are you being such an asshole to talk with Eren?
She's like, I want to fuck you, but you're making it really hard, and not in the good way.
Apparently, Hans tried to have that conversation, but it didn't go well.
No, Eren was about
someone else. Mikasa, John, or Connie needs to go to him and dude, why are you being such an asshole?
Well, they said no. Because in episode 10, when they're in the present and they're all in the library, and they're like, Armin was like, me and Mikasa will go down and talk to Eren because obviously we want answers too, and we don't think he's a bad guy, and I think. Eren, because when Eren talks to Hanj, it's not like he's like, I can murder you, but he doesn't do it. And he also specifically says, if you have a solution for everything that's going on. Because in episode 10, Armin and Mikasa were like, listen, we'll go down and talk to, because they want to assure, they talk to Connie and Jin. They're like, hey, listen, we'll talk to Eren. We'll make sure that we'll find out. We'll get answers, and I think that's what's going to happen this episode. I think we're going to have a scene where Armin and Mikasa are actually going to talk to Eren and be like, "What's up?" Because Eren was when he was talking to Hanj. It's not like he was he was actually going to hurt her. He seemed like he was almost breaking down. Like he was like, "Listen, I don't know what the right or wrong answer is." And no, he literally quotes Levi. He's like, I don't know what's right or wrong. I just know we have to do something. And he's like, Hanj, do you have a solution? Do you have a solution? No? Then shut the fuck up. And then Hanj is like,
you didn't have to be a jerk about it.
Yeah. But I don't think Eren is actually change his mind or whatever. I think he's just coming to the realization that he doesn't have a lot of time. There's not a lot that they can do. And he has to, he was against it at first, but I think he's coming to the realization that what the fuck is he gonna do? And so he's just making choices, not knowing whether he's right or wrong.
Running out of time, and rather than just letting it play out without him, he's where with Erwin, when he sent everybody to kill themselves at the end of season 3, because he wanted to get to that basement.
Yeah.
Not enough that he was willing to sacrifice everybody for his ambitions.
And at this point, he was just like...
the right or wrong decision didn't matter.
Yep. And in the end, he talked to Levi, and Levi was like, listen, this is what you got to do. Because Erwin really didn't know. I don't know. That's my prediction. I think we're going to get a lot more Mikasa, Eren, and Armin in the next episode. Probably not going to find a
They're all going to confront each other in the same restaurant at the same time. classic sitcom trope.
Pretty much, yeah. I think that's what's gonna happen. Next episode is gonna be Armin, Aaron, Irwin.
You know that episode of
dinner,
Seinfeld where they're all
stuff.
just waiting for a table at a Chinese restaurant for the entire episode? This is going to be Attack on Titan's version of that episode.
Yeah, I'm committed, by the way, that there's going to be a part 1, part 2, because there's no way in 5 episodes they're going to try and wrap this shit up. Fuck no. If they do, it's going to be
impossible.
I hope not. I hope they don't wrap it up in 5 episodes, because I'm just going to be like, man, this is like Game of Thrones level of rushing.
No way. I mean, completely impossible. Like, I've been saying that since
The beginning of the season is like, there's no way they can do this, right? It has to be more. I'm sure we'll get some kind of announcement in the next month.
Yeah, because I mean, like, because you were like, because at first when we were watching it, you're like, it has to end differently. Like, they have to do something differently. And now,
that was my initial thought. It's like they've got to be doing a different ending if they're going to wrap it up in 16 episodes. I was about like 3 or 4 episodes in. And I posted that initial, like, holy shit, Attack on Titan Season 4 is crazy.
I can't believe people are shitting on it. It's so weird.
It's like, I mean, what the fuck are you watching?
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's apparently
So great. Like, please give me your Netflix queue so I can see what has raised the bar for you so high that Attack on Titan isn't good enough for you anymore.
Exactly. Like, okay, so like I didn't realize this, and I haven't seen it, but apparently, the Attack on Titan community, I don't think it's all of them, but like, there's like because I found this out, people were like talking about the anime on Twitter, and they attacked and sent death threats. It got so bad. It got real bad. It blew up. I was unaware of this, but they went to the directors and they went to the animators and started shitting and yelling and sending death threats, like emails and mail to them saying, how could you ruin Attack on Titan? There was like several things that they were talking
people
about.
On the internet are fucking nut jobs.
I was like, what?
They have a very Gabi sort of attitude towards life.
Exactly.
They wake up every day and choose violence.
No joke. I literally think that's like Gabi is a perfect reflection of
I've never in my entire life seen a movie or a TV show or a book that was so bad that I needed to murder somebody.
Exactly. Yeah. Seriously,
like that is never an appropriate reaction to
almost anything. Yeah. Exactly. Like fuck. Like I was just like, are we watching the same show? Because Attack on Titan all of Attack on Titan, but especially season 4 is like.
I know tastes are subjective. Yeah, tastes are subjective, and not everybody's going to be into the same things, or it's going to hit differently.
Yeah.
But like to dislike a form of media or entertainment so much that you actually threaten someone's life is just ludicrous.
Yeah,
it's absurd.
Well, I mean, and this is coming from people of the manga, like who read. I read the manga. Like, obviously, I'm trying to keep up with the anime, but, like, I'm reading the manga. And the manga is pretty much 1-to-1. Like, yeah, there's a few little details here and there. But, like, it's as close as an adaptation can fucking get. It's as close as an adaptation I have seen. Like, it is really good.
I found out in the last, like, 6 months or so is apparently there's a bit of, like, an alt-right following of Attack on Titan.
What?
Especially the manga, where they're like, like alt-right Nazis are big fans and identify with it.
Well, there's a lot.
They're clearly taking a much different message away.
Yeah. I also want to say there's a lot of alt-right or like Trump supporters or there's a lot of people, like white supremacy people or like racist people that watch anime. It's just. There's a lot of them. There's a lot more than I would like. Like there are literally people I have seen where they have like Trump MAGA hat, and they have like, but then they have like Demon Slayer and like they have like fucking Attack on Titan and stuff like that, and then they have like the Blue Lives Matter with the blue flag, and and the whole entire thing. And like you see that shit, and you're just like, it's something that a lot of people don't want to say, but yeah, there's a lot of racist people who watch anime and like it and enjoy it, and it's like there's a lot of people in the Star Wars fandom that like I think that's in every fandom. Like it's impossible.
I mean,
there's a medium for like
are they racist and they watch anime, or are they racist because they watch anime, or they watch anime because they're racist? I think there's shitty people everywhere.
Yeah. The author is not a fascist.
They happen to also be watching anime at this. The fact that they're taking away like shit that reinforces their
beliefs,
ideals from it. It's you hear what you want to hear. Apparently, I guess.
I don't know.
Is the author a fascist? He might be. I don't know.
I don't think so. I believe because remember, you didn't watch that Wisecrack video that you told me to send you.
I'm going to eventually.
No, you're not.
You don't know.
Watch you prove me wrong.
Can't tell me.
But basically,
I will watch it eventually. I just keep forgetting.
So I'll just send it to you through the DM so you can actually see what the video is.
Yeah. Resend it to me because I do want to watch it. I do like Wisecrack. I haven't been watching them as much lately. They've changed. Like the crew has kind of rotated, or
Jared
people
left.
came in.
Only Jared left.
Jared. He was but he was such like the primary voice of that channel.
Yeah, he was the founder. He started that channel.
Yeah, I still catch the occasional video from them, but it's not quite the same.
No, but it's good. I still like Wisecrack. I think some of the new talent they hired are pretty good. There. I like their new talent.
Yeah, I enjoy their stuff. I'm just not as back when Jared was running the channel, I would watch pretty much every video. Unless it was something like I really didn't like. It was about something that I definitely didn't know anything about.
Yeah, they've definitely gone a lot more surface level with a lot of their analogies. But not all of them. Some of them are actually very interesting. So the Attack on Titan has problematic viewers. I mean, the people I've literally seen this like as I walked. Like I've seen it, and I know people. I wouldn't associate with those people, but I know people who have like I saw their their stickers on their car, and I was just like, what the fuck? Like, how do any of these things like there's like 7 Deadly Sins anime, Orimo, and cute anime girls, and like Dragon Maiden anime on their pictures, and like Tokyo Ghoul was on there, and then there's also like Trump supporters, Trump 2020, and Blue Lives Matter, and support our police and stuff like that. And I was like, there's some of the anime on some of the anime stickers on there kind of go directly against.
It's kind of it's
directly
an odd
against what your some of your others. There's conflictions here, and I'm one because like okay, so Attack on Titan is
as we with their rebel flag and Leonard Skinner. No, I'm more of a Yu-Gi-Oh fan myself. The South will rise again with blue eyes, white dragon.
But I don't know if they're missing because like sometimes they do get it. They're like, oh, this is a great. Then it's like, yeah, it's like, but I still believe this because they believe their side. I think it's what it is.
Correlation and causation.
Gabi is an excellent character and a lens into all of that. To briefly cut it short, Attack on Titan touches on a philosophical idea that is by a Nazi, but it touches on it in such a way where it's not saying that like I don't know if the author I don't know for one. I would have to look into it, but I don't know if the author supports fascism or not. I don't think they do, because Attack on Titan is constructed in such a way to show the ideas of fascism. It still shows why they're bad, but it shows how easy it is to get into it. It's kind of like Super Trooper in that way, where like if you watch Super Trooper, you're like, these people are fascists. But it shows you how like capitalism and fascism are like so close to one another.
What I like about Gabi is that her solution to every problem is murder.
Much like the internet.
The old saying, like when all you have is a hammer, every problem looks like a nail.
Yeah.
So anytime anything gets in her way, she chooses violence.
Pretty much, yeah. Much like the internet. And like I said, I just watched Trash Taste's podcast on animation. I'll post it in the Discord. It's really recent. It's like number 36 if you want to like really watch it. It's one of the JoJo and My Hero Academia animators. But like, god damn it, I'm never gonna criticize animation ever again. Fuck, the things those people go through.
I mean, you don't have to criticize it, but you should threaten to murder them on Twitter. I mean, just
it's part. You have to be part of the internet.
It's called etiquette. You can't just not threaten people with violence on Twitter. It's like you're not even using it right.
But yeah, so it's like it's that. It's a lot of just it's crazy. I think we've officially gone off the rails.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it's just so crazy. You want to know one of the things I was thinking about, by the way, before we wrap this all up? Us reviewing like music or like some like because I want to do something for Undead Garden, and I want to like go over like musical ideas or like things in music that we like, or like share music with one another. Like, yeah, we share like our own music that we're creating, but I would love for us to be like, here is a song like I like for these reasons or whatever, and like us like break it apart and stuff like that, because I feel like we're qualified. I feel like me and you are both qualified to do that,
as qualified as the internet requires, which no, anyways, at best.
Yeah, like I was gonna see like because like I mean like
I think I'm qualified to have dumb opinions on the internet.
Well, yeah, I mean it is just a subjective opinion, but like we both do music, we understand what it's like to record music. What it, like we have I would say we have more of a grasp than anything. I want us to talk about like our shared experiences. So like, for example, like stories for us, like what it was like getting gigs, playing gigs. There was like there was one weird
I'm less
experience.
excited about that.
There's some
the whole booking and like actual like schlepping around gear, and I mean I enjoy playing once I'm on stage, but the whole like process of booking and then getting to and setting up for a gig is just tedious and terrible.
Yeah, I mean I feel like we have good stories. Like there's the one story where like and I guess we can make a whole like podcast about this where we like just share our musical stories. There's the one where our first gig was at House of Blues, and the sound guy told you what was like you asked a simple thing. You're like, can I get a little bit of guitar or a little bit of my vocals in your monitor?
I just asked
and he told you to fuck off or something.
Yeah, the guy was he definitely didn't want to be there. He told us flat out that I don't give a shit about any of these bands playing tonight. I don't want to be here.
Yeah,
that was an asshole.
And then you came up to me and told me that, and I was like, what? I'm like, what an asshole. And then like right before, because I was still I had stage fright, so
he was too good to be doing that local bands.
Yeah, apparently
I didn't write your schedule. I'm just here to play. So thank you.
Yeah, and then there's like the like right before like because I had stage fright at the time. I asked Adam to slap me, and he slapped me twice. And I was like, thanks, man. And then literally you slapped me for a third time, and I didn't expect it. And you literally, right after you slapped me for the third time, you're like, I just wanted to give you one more just to make sure.
It was a way to fuse tension, and it worked.
It did. But like, god damn it, you were like, because you didn't hold back. You're like, bah, bah. And I'm like, thanks, man. You're like, bah. And I was like, what the fuck? And you're like, oh, yeah, I just wanted to make sure because, you know, just to make sure I got all of it out there. It's like, fuck, man. There's also like there's the one time you're like your bass string broke, and in the middle of a set.
Oh yeah.
And then
I couldn't get it out of the way of the other strings, so I just pulled it over my neck and used it like a strap.
And then there's the time you didn't fall off stage, but you almost fell off. Or I don't know if you did or didn't, but you
I was
almost.
The only one of the band that really drank.
Yeah.
At that point, you were like
I was underage,
under 21. We would get like 3 people's worth of drink tickets, and then I would just like, all right, fine, I'll have these 2 buckets of beers.
Yeah, and you almost. It was the same time you broke the string too. My God, it was a great show though. This is what I'm talking about. It's like I want to do something like this, where like it's just nice to reminisce a little bit, but also like I feel like we could like talk about like performances, or like what it's like to record music, or like we can listen to a song that someone wants us to listen to and be like, yeah, this is what we think about the song. We can't listen to it obviously on here because fucking Twitch's DMCA laws fucking suck. You know, we can listen to it on our own time and then come back and talk
that would
about
be
it.
the only obstacle, is that we couldn't play any like real music
Unless
during
it's our
the
own
stream.
music. You know?
Yeah.
But like we can
Yeah, there's something there. We'll work something out.
Yeah, we'll workshop it a little bit. If you guys are interested in that, let us know. Yeah, though, thank you guys so much. This is for YouTube, and hi YouTube. Everyone say hi YouTube.
Hi, YouTube.
But yeah, if you guys really enjoyed talking about this, please check out our other stuff. We have other podcast type stuff up. I still don't know what to call this. Like, I don't know what we should what we should, like, just opinions with Bohab and Justice. Like,
We'll figure out a better format eventually.
someone give me a.
We'll stumble into something.
We'll stumble into something.
Something this more structure, I think, would do it a service. You know.
Yeah, I hope
Kind of tend to.
I hope when this pandemic's over, we can actually do it like in a professional, like where we're like actually have a semi-professional setting where it's like me and you in person, where we can actually sit down and do this. Maybe we could just like record a whole bunch of quick stuff and we could put it on Patreon or something.
Be nice if we could get it into a regular thing.
We want to thank you guys for watching. Please check out my other videos. I have other videos where we discuss our fucking dumb opinions about stuff. Some of them are good, some of them are real crap. But it's all entertaining. At least I think so. I laughed. I'm recently editing the second one we did of this, and I just busted out laughing because like we went on like a 13-minute binge of us trying to pronounce Hanj, and it somehow turned into fucking all these Japanese and German names and all the ways that they pronounce them in the anime, and it's inconsistent. And but you just see a mental breakdown between both me and you trying to figure out how to pronounce Hanj. It was like
I'm still not 100% sure on that.
Yeah, but it's like so fucking great, and I busted out laughing, and I literally laughed so hard, and I was like, oh, this is good. This is really, like, I've never felt proud of like our dumb ass conversations. And if you're watching this, odds are it's already up on YouTube. It should be up tomorrow for all you guys watching this live, because I have an hour and a half left of editing to go, and then it should be up. So yeah, so please check that out. Check out all my videos. It really does help. But if anything, if you really enjoyed this, please check out the other ones. They're just as good.
If we get caught up on these tangents.
I know. Okay. And YouTube.
All right, we'll do this again next week.
Yes, YouTube. Thank you so much for watching. If you'd like to just subscribe, like, share, comment below. I don't know. Like, what is your favorite voice acting? Like, what's your favorite dub? I guess. And don't say Cowboy Bebop or Attack on Titan or whatever. Like,
don't say Cowboy Bebop. It's not the correct way to pronounce that show.
Oh yes, someone recently told me.
Cowboy Bebop.
Someone told me. Someone told me about that. Actually, it's not actually pronounced that way. Anyways, yeah. Let me know what your favorite dub is of an anime that like what's a really good dub that like doesn't get a lot of attention. Like what's an anime dub that's like really good, but not a lot of people know it's a really good dub. Like it's like kind of swept under the rug.
Outside of my area of expertise.
Yeah, but like yeah.
I know Trigun is pretty good, but everyone knows that one's good.
Trigun's really good as what, like Trigun, Samurai Champloo, all those ones that are like really good and like known for being really good dubs. But like, give me a dub that's like comment below. Tell me a dub that's like underappreciated, like one that doesn't get a whole lot of love. And with that, we'll see you guys next time. Be beautiful, be amazing, and don't forget to be awesome 100%. Bye bye.
Bye bye.